views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello and welcome to Open University from our BronxNet studios on the beautiful campus of Lehman College, where we keep you in the loop on current discussions in and around the community. I'm your host, Lacey Dominguez, and we have a wonderful show for you today. Coming up on today's show, we'll sit down with a Bronx realtor who will tell us about changes happening in the Bronx and how residents can invest their money during this holiday season. Plus, we'll check out the latest happening in the world of sports with this week's edition of Time Out with Tatiana. After that, we'll sit down with a songstress, recording gospel artist, and wedding singer to talk about her latest work and future plans. So sit back, relax, and let me keep you in the loop with a brand new episode of Open University. Hello and welcome everyone, I'm your host Lacey Dominguez. The holiday season is all about gift giving, so how about giving the gift of a new home? Here to tell us about how Bronxites could invest in our neighborhoods is Bronx realtor Ingrid Voigt. Welcome to Open University.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, can you tell us a little bit about what a realtor does?
Basically, a realtor helps a normal resident who is looking to purchase or sell to make the best of the opportunity. So to do it hassle-free, actually.
Okay. So how long have you been in the housing business? What's everything been like for you?
I've been doing real estate for close to 7 years. And it's been pretty interesting in New York.
Okay.
New York is a great place to work.
What makes New York a great place to work in realtor?
There's so much diversity.
Of course.
There's so much opportunities. The laws here are different from other states, and I find that it's more flexible. So therefore, the fact that you meet so many different people all the time, it's not the same set of people you're working with all the time, that's really fun.
Yeah, that's part of New York. You're never going to meet the same people twice.
There you go.
Yeah. So what have been some of the changes in the housing market?
Well, here's what's going on. Terrorism has done a flip, not just in America, but across the world.
How so?
You see that there was terrorist attacks over in France and other places, and you see the war that's going on in the Middle East. There's so much instability globally that a lot of people are looking to move, to actually migrate with their families. And New York tends to be maybe the hottest spot right now in the globe.
Really?
So, yes.
Because
so
one will think, even after 9/11, that it's a little, tricky. I remember that there was a lot of issues. People didn't want to come here. People want to come out. But what do you think people are specifically migrating here to New York?
Well, the plus about New York is that it's a melting pot.
Oh, totally.
So that's the biggest plus, that you can pick up your family, take 20 people, and they fit right in. Because if, for instance, you go on a subway station and you go in any cart, you have at least 20 different ethnic groups being represented on any day.
Yeah.
If you go in any fast food, if you go on any block and you just take those people geographically, you have at least 20 different languages.
Oh.
So there you have it. People feel comfortable because there's an opportunity. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, you can definitely fit in and you can make it.
Definitely, definitely. And who can be qualified to invest in the market, especially here in the borough of the Bronx?
Anybody can qualify. It's not a hard process. Investors come from overseas. We're seeing so much cash deals on the market right now, it's crazy.
Really?
Yes, they're for instance, the Chinese, when they move in droves. So they don't only move with their immediate family, but they move with their grandparents, great-grandparents, like everybody moves.
Oh, wow.
So this is what's affecting New York, because when they move, they take 2 floors.
Oh, wow.
You've just displaced 20 New Yorkers, and they're coming with cash. So they're just buying all over. So therefore, they're influencing the market for us New Yorkers in a negative way, because we cannot afford to pay cash for deals, and so the bidding war starts.
Yeah.
And those who have the most, so the New Yorkers now have to be looking for places to live.
Different places, because now they're displaced in a way. So what are some of the benefits of investing in the housing market, as you were mentioning before?
Well, right now, especially in the Bronx, it is very important. Manhattan has been saturated. Brooklyn is saturated. Queens
I
is
imagine,
everywhere. New York is a hot spot right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sorry, not New York, Bronx. Bronx is a hot spot. So therefore, everybody is looking to come to the Bronx. The New Yorkers from Manhattan are coming to the Bronx, so therefore that's pushing up rents.
Oh,
So they
that's
cannot-
very, very tricky, especially here in the borough of the Bronx.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a regular Bronx side will not even be able to afford rents in a couple of, give us 2 years. We've started to see the rates increase already by $200, $300.
Yeah.
What you used to get for a 1-bedroom is no longer that price. And the great thing is, we already are familiar with the neighborhood, so why not us invest? There's so many foreclosures on the market. If the money that we're paying for rent is going up to be equivalent to what's for mortgages, why not buy the houses? Why not be the landlords?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
not take a one family, because there's so much rezoning right now, take a one family, put 2 floors, 3 floors on it, make it into a 15-unit building. You're collecting rent for all of those people, and you've just put yourself in a much better economic position.
Totally. Besides rents spiking up, what do you think are some of the other reasons that people are hesitant to invest in the housing market?
Hesitant to invest?
Yeah.
I guess knowledge. Lack of knowledge, people perish. People don't understand, especially the Bronx side. The Metro North is coming to the east side of the Bronx. It's going to come through Hunts Point, Parkchester, Morris Park, and up into Co-op City.
Oh, wow.
The
So
ferry-
it's going to go basically
so,
through all the
yes, and it's
South
going to
Bronx,
go
yeah.
further. So that's also going to increase commute. The ferry system is now going to be coming along the river between Manhattan. So therefore, that's also going to increase commute, because instead of just taking the subway, people will now be able to transport their vehicles and even themselves in between the Bronx more easily. So you can get back and forth between 15, 20 minutes. So it's more attractive. Plus, there are developments that are taking place, and Marriott is already here. Industrial companies are moving up to the Bronx because the rents are so much cheaper.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the Bronx is so much more attractive now.
So now things are changing.
So now things are changing in
So
the
people,
Bronx.
you're saying to people they shouldn't be afraid to invest in the housing market,
What
especially here.
I'm saying is there are foreign investors and other investors that are not from the Bronx who have already started to invest in the Bronx. So if Bronx people do not invest in their own
Then
place,
they're gonna lose
then they're
their-
going to lose.
yeah.
And then later when the prices go up, they definitely won't be able to afford it.
Yeah, I've seen that happen a lot, especially with gentrification and stuff like that. People within, now imagine people from outside, it will get even trickier. How can people apply for housing?
Well, one great thing that we're doing is I'm a part of a team that has different experts. I'm a real estate person. We have a mortgage lender. We have somebody who speaks to insurance, lawyers. We have a whole team. We do free seminars. Currently,
Really?
yes. Currently, we're offering free seminars to the Bronx because we live here. We're not going anywhere. And the Bronx sides are the people who have not gotten the memo. Everybody else sees that it's a place
Yeah.
to be.
So now it's time for all of us
it's time
here
for
to
us
kind of wake
here
up.
to wake up and say, guys, we only have this window and we need to take advantage of it now, because later on, we won't be able to afford it. And we can come together. I mean, there are different avenues. So what we are doing is we're offering free seminars to any groups. If you have a group of 10 or more and you want us to come in and sit with you to just tell you what's going on and help you to understand the process, that if your credit is bad, we do credit repair. Like whatever your reason is, whatever you think your fears are, we are the experts who know how to do it.
Great, great. And where can people contact you, find more information about all we've been talking about?
Well, they can definitely give me a call. My number is 917-946-8740. That's 917-946-8740.
All right, great. Thank you so much for joining us, Ingrid. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Okay. We have to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We'll be back with more Open University.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at BronxNet correspondent Tatiana Parrish giving us the latest in Bronx sports in this week's Time Out with Tatiana.
Hey everyone, you're tuned into Time Out with Tatiana. I'm your host, Tatiana Parrish, and you're going to have exclusive access to coaches, players, and stories of your local college and high school sports teams that you can only find here. Stay connected to us through social media. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Time Out with Tatiana. And don't worry, we do follow back. Coming up on today's segment, Wings Academy High School versus Samuel Gumper High. The Wings has a young team this year, but great things are expected of them. Let's take a look to see if the young Wings can hold their own on the hardwood. Samuel Gumper High hosted Wings Academy High School. Gumper is coming off of a tough loss as the Wings enter the game 1-0. Wings Academy comes out the gate strong. Senior small forward Jose Perez takes charge of the game, helping them get off to a great start. Gumpers turn things around in the second quarter. Richard Opong penetrates the defense, creating wide open shots and scoring opportunities for his teammates. Things heat up in the third quarter. As the intensity rises on the floor, Wings point guard Boubacar Kamisoko keeps his team calm. Elijah Chapman gives the Wings the spark they need to triumph over the Gumpers. Gumpers try to fight back in the fourth quarter, but they were no match for the Wings. Final score, Wings 80, Gumpers 58.
For such a young team with only 2 returning players, it's a good win coming into this hostile environment.
My coach told me to calm down and do what could start me off. Start mid-range jump shots. I took mid-range jump shot and I started taking threes.
This Saturday, Fordham women's basketball team will take on the Manhattan Jaspers. This is a huge rivalry. Coach Stephanie Gately of the Fordham Rams has a few words to say about the Battle of the Bronx, and I quote, "The Battle of the Bronx is always a special matchup because of the good-spirited rivalry at both schools. It is made even more special this year because we have used this as a platform to raise money for a program close to our hearts, Go for the Goal, which generates funds for pediatric cancer. The long-standing rivalry and this opportunity to help others is a winning combination." Great words from Coach Gately. Now it's time to announce the Timeout Student Athlete of the Week. Point guard Jamel Smith for Hostos Community College dropped 40 points on Dutchess Community College. He went 4 from 6 from the three-point line. Congratulations, Jamel. I had the chance to catch up with Lehman College coach Eric Harrison. He recently led the Lady Lightning to a championship. Eric Harrison has coached the Lady Lightning for over 18 years, bringing Lehman College over 252 wins.
Last season was great. We did a good job of focusing on a lot of teamwork, a lot of team bonding, and hard work. The young ladies last year worked extremely hard during the championship season, so it was something that we carried over from the preseason right into the season.
From a tough loss late in the season, Coach knew he had to make some changes.
It was. Staten Island was senior day for us here, and, we came out and lost that game. And, it was a little bit of a wake-up call. We knew we had to work a lot harder if we wanted to get the championship. So the Staten Island game was big as far as what we were trying to do.
Lehman and Brooklyn College defeated one another during the season. Come to find out, they would face each other in the championship.
It was, we knew it was a 50-50 game. We knew that if we played our A game, that Brooklyn's a team we had seen before, so we knew that it was going to be a battle. But we felt real confident with our players, knowing that we beat them over there at Brooklyn. They had beat us early in the season when we were still young. So, it was definitely a confidence builder going in.
Coach Eric Harrison is known as the most dominant coach in CUNY AC history.
Oh, it's big, to know that out of all of the coaches that have ever coached in CUNY, I've got more wins than all of them. It shows longevity, and just happy for the opportunity to be coaching here at Lehman and to continue to set those records and hopefully keep those championship rings going. So it's a proud thing.
Coaching for 18 seasons, will Coach Harrison hang up the whistle?
It's interesting. This never gets old. You like to coach, and you always like to go for greatness. So you never know. But, right now we're looking forward to getting this championship here and hopefully continue to build our legacy over here.
That's all for today. Join me next week where I will give you the highlights and exclusive updates on your local Bronx sports. For BronxNet, Tatiana Parrish.
We have to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open University.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Hello and welcome back to Open University. As we continue to celebrate this holiday season, we have a singer and songwriter and gospel recording artist who's here to tell us about her latest work and what to expect from her in the future. Also, after hearing from her, she will also give us a taste of her talent. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, my name is Janice, and as you said, I am a singer. I have been singing for basically as long as I've been speaking. It started out at home. I was the entertainment at home. I sang for my teddy bears, my parents, and then I eventually had a sister to serenade. And once my parents realized that there was some talent there, they made sure that I sang everywhere, but especially church. I grew up very active in church. Every function, every service, if I wasn't doing a solo, I was a part of a choir or a group that was participating in the service. And for a while, it was kind of a tug of war between my parents and I, but singing took on new meaning for me about age 17 or 18, that transition between high school and college, where I realized that I was entrusted a gift from God, and that's special, and I have a responsibility to use it and to develop it further. And the funny thing about it is that the more I developed myself, the more it actually made room for me. Singing was also one of the ways that I even paid my way through college. And I eventually started to branch out even more, doing more events, weddings, doing background services for different artists, and so on. And the funny thing about it, everywhere I went, people would ask me, where can I purchase your music?
Yeah.
and
you were like, oh.
Yeah, I'll say, it's coming, it's coming. But now it actually is coming.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a thing that your parents were like, oh, you're good at it, you should do it. And you didn't realize until college. Wow.
Right. Yeah, it became a part of my identity. And it wasn't until I think I got sick for a really long time.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, oh my goodness, I need to sing.
It kind of was one of those revelation things, like, oh my God, my parents were right.
Yes. Because part of it too is like my own therapy, in a sense, especially when I started writing. It was like an outlet for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, it has been just a steady progress since then. Yeah.
What are your goals with like singing? What is the message that you want to bring out to the people who hear you perform?
Well, my faith is a very important part of my life.
Totally.
So for that reason, it's always the backbone of everything that I do. And I really just want to relay the message that God loves us. He loves us all, and He's here for us no matter what. Sometimes we go through different things in our lives, and sometimes we do feel alone, or we feel like we can't say certain things to certain people, but we can always talk to God. And that's the main message that I want to relay in my music, that God is real, He loves us, and He's here for you.
That's some pretty interesting stuff that you mentioned in there. How do you prepare to perform? Because do you usually perform like at church or like at regular events? Or everywhere, yeah.
Church, yeah. I do praise and worship at my church. I do solos. I do concerts. I do even funerals. Any function that can happen in a church, I usually am part of that. A lot of practice.
Yeah,
you practice.
Nothing works without practice.
Right, practice.
Yeah, and particularly with the holiday season, what's that like with you?
It can get stressful because there's certain times of year where there's a lot going on. So I have to make sure that I take care of myself, keep my voice healthy.
Definitely.
Yeah, and tune up those vocal cords.
Oh yeah, very important if you're gonna perform and be a singer.
It's just like if you're an athlete.
Yeah.
You train. It's the same thing. You train.
Definitely.
Yeah, and practice.
So where can people contact you to book you or like get you?
They can go to my website.
Okay.
Janeith.com. It's JANEITH. They can find me on social media, on Instagram by my first name. I'm Janeith. On Facebook. Anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere that you can find me.
Google me.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And said now you're going to perform for us, right? Okay. Now let's go over it really quickly. We'll be right back with a special performance by Janeith Wright. Stay tuned.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, you know, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's gonna happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
Please welcome to the stage, Janeith Wright.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin it's worth a thrill of hope. The weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night, oh, night divine. Ooh, truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chain shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy and grateful chorus raise thee. Let all within us praise his holy name. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine.
That's great. Thank you so much for coming and
Thanks for
sharing
having
everything
me.
with you. Thanks. Unfortunately, that's it for our show today. Thank you for our guests for joining us, and most importantly, you, the viewer, for tuning into Open University. For BronxNet and for me, have a happy holiday and a happy new year.